guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Deluxe class, Scorn. Like Bumblebee, we have the Age of Extinction packaging. Now, as I mentioned in that review of Bumblebee, this was acquired through a source in Canada. So the package might look a little bit different than what we get here in the United States. But you got a real nice image of Scorn here in the background. Very cool Transformers logo here, actually kind of printed. I think it's like just the sticker, but it's a clear sticker put actually on the clamshell. I really like it. It is part of the Transformers Generations line, which is more geared towards us adult collectors. You got the Transformers 4 logo there. Come on here the back. You got his Spinosaurus mode as well as his robot mode. And looking at this, if this doesn't get repainted at some point in time to Beast Wars Megatron, I'll be very disappointed. It's got a 19-step transformation, and then you can see Autobot Slug as well as Bumblebee. And it says Scorn has the jaws of a dino and the personality of a tank. He's a rumbling, thundering warhammer on legs. I really dig that. Now, the only thing that I don't necessarily like on here is I think that as a Spinosaurus, he should be a little bit bigger. But overall, I'm really liking the way that he looks. I mean, I'm a huge Dinosaur fan, and Dinobots just in general are very fun. So that's what we have for the packaging of the guy. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. All right, guys, so here we have Scorn open up and out of its packaging. And I really like this guy. Of the three that I currently have in my possession, Scorn is probably my favorite. And honestly, it's probably because of the Dinosaur mode. I mean, this guy just, for me, has a lot of character, and I love it. As you can see, he does have his spines coming up here. These are a softer rubber. Same with the tail. The tail, you feel like there's a rubber on the outside, and then a thicker, almost hard plastic sort of skeletal structure underneath this rubber. But it is, I mean, you can see it is a little bit rubbery here. There's some flex to it. So there's that rubber there, and you got the rubber there. I don't think it's bad. It feels like it's good quality, so I don't necessarily think it's going to fall apart over time. I love the look of this. There's just so much character. And one thing that I was doing earlier, you can really articulate his head in a bunch of different ways. You can get him looking up, down, left, right. One thing, just going like this with his little stubby arms, it's like he's cleaning himself, like a cat or something. So he's like, or something hit me in my nose. I mean, I don't know. It's really fun. I really dig it. And then, like, you can see the mouth is articulated. So you do have that going in for the articulation here in Dinosaur mode. The smaller arms here are on ball joints and really wide ball joints. I mean, you can get a lot of posability with them all the way out like that. They can go all the way behind them. The legs are a little bit more complicated. You can move them around, but it breaks up some of this look right here. And if you don't get it just right, he is very back heavy because of this tail. So you do have to balance them in a way that lets you keep it, or keep him actually standing up here. Now, you can correct that. These feet here, you can see he's got 3 claws here in the front. You can actually take these and rotate these around. You need to do that for the transformation anyhow. So depending on what you want to do, I mean, this would allow you to get a much sturdier, wider opening with his legs, which allows you to put the tail down. Something like this where he's more upright is not possible with these feet in the proper configuration. Just moving these up front to show you that. Doing this, well, I guess you could do that because it leans on the tail, but you can see just when the tail's not down, it just automatically wants to fall back. This is a very heavy tail, but taking these and rotating these around without putting the tail on the ground, you can see here, get those legs, and fiddling with his legs, you can see just completely opens everything up. That is not on the ground there, so you can see that he gets a little bit more stable when you put the little toe in the back like this. It's, like I said, it's part of the transformation to his robot mode, so you got to do it anyhow. And it looks kind of weird like this, I guess, and then you got the 2 feet here. Honestly, I don't even think it looks all that bad. Kind of fixes a little bit of it and makes him a little bit sturdier of a figure. So you do have that articulation, or if you want to just keep him like this, you don't have to have that. But really nice. You can see an Autobot logo right there on that side, and then you come around to the other side. Nothing really going on other than his legs. His legs do look a little weird looking at them from the front. They kind of look like they bow in here at the knee. I wish there was a way that they actually would extend out so that you can keep them straight, because otherwise you keep it like this, the legs look like they're just way too close together, I think. I guess it's personal preference on what you like, but it just looks weird with this like this. I want a more wider pose with his legs. But Dinosaur mode, I think, looks terrific. I really do like this guy. The paint is very nice. This tail area here has a very kind of metallic paint to it. I don't know how well that's coming across on camera, but really a very nice coloring on him. I love his green eyes. It's like I said, there's just so much character in the fact that, number one, his head is as posable as it is. I mean, you can get a lot of really cool looks with this. I'm simply thrilled with it. Now, he does have a weapon. It does store here underneath his tail. Pulling this out. Come on, there we go. It just pegs up underneath there, so leaving that there for right now. Now, he does have nice weapon storage for him, but yeah, I dig him. It's cool looking Dinosaur mode. I really think it looks great. Now, to transform him, first what you want to do, come around here to the actual frill up here, kind of lift this up. You can see a little tab right there that pegs into the actual body. Lift that up and then rotate that around. You can see it's on a little bit of a hinge, so you can sort of get it moving back without actually just pulling it and tearing on that rubber bit. So rotate that around just like so. Come around here to the legs. We're going to rotate these all the way down. It spins. You can see the whole leg assembly here. Fold this out. This whole assembly rotates down. So we're just going to straighten the legs out just like so. I already have the feet done. If you didn't do that, you can rotate those feet around just like that. This section right here folds down. Do that on both sides just like that. Then take this, lower that, come up, straighten out his dinosaur head, detach this section, kind of bring these arms up, and then that loosens everything up. This rotates this way, and then when you do it, there's a little bit of automorph on it. As you do it, it just frictions kind of, it lifts the shoulders up. You have to lift them a little bit further, or not the shoulders, the head. You can see like pushing it down. That lifts his head up when you do that, but just have to pull it up to finalize it. Kind of bring these legs down, get this out of the way, bring this whole section all the way down. Then you have this front bit that comes down and actually tabs down, so give that a nice little push. Straighten out these legs. Pull them forward, make sure that those stay down like so. This back right here, you can lift this up. I like taking these arms. The instructions, I think, just tell you to leave it down like this, but lift that up, and then I like bringing these and tucking them back behind his actual frills, so it lines up nicely, and there you go. Then take this dinosaur head, open up his mouth all the way, kind of straighten that out, bring that down, rotate that around, and then you've got his hand. Just pull that out. Make sure you pull all the way you can see, and let's see if I can catch that. That little bit right there has to clip in underneath the nose area, so push it all the way, boom, just like so, locks it in place. Then rotate this around and position this and get his head straightened up, and here you have Scorn in his robot mode. And even here in robot mode, the guy looks really cool. Now, one thing is, if they do not at some point in time repaint this, maybe a slight retool with a different head or something into Beast Wars Megatron, I'll be very disappointed. I mean, you take this hand, I mean, you can tuck this hand away, boom. You can rotate this around. You can even rotate it all the way around. It still has the same articulation. And then these actually can detach. I'll just take those off. Put a new head on there. And yeah, you got Beast Wars Megatron. It's really very neat. Hopefully I'm putting these on the right side. I hope it doesn't matter. But this is a terrific looking figure. I really love the head sculpt on here. It's really a very knight sort of look to him. I almost like leaving the arm like that. I mean, this is kind of weird looking, I guess. I mean, it does have a unique look to him. It's not anything that we're too terribly different from seeing before. Like I said, this does have a Beast Wars Megatron look to it. So people that might complain about the aesthetic, I don't think that that's all that valid. I mean, I can see a lot of people, oh, I guess you're supposed to take these legs and you're supposed to open these up. They fold out. Just giving his legs a little bit more thickness to him. Some people have said that it has a very bionicle look to it, and I guess sort of like with the legs and stuff. I don't see it too much. It really doesn't bother me too terribly much on that look, I guess. But it definitely has a different look and feel, and I like it. I think it nicely homages some of those old Transformers from like Beast Wars. I really do dig this guy. Now, he does have this problem. When you have the hand out, he does have this giant hole going all the way through it, so that's kind of weird. But again, I might honestly just leave the dinosaur head there, and that's kind of a cool look I like. You do have his sword that plugs in here. It comes out a little bit easier when it's opened up like that, and he can have him holding it in his normal hand, but really a very cool looking figure. Everything comes out very nicely. I do like the paint on here as well. Like I said, I mean, this is a very nice reflective metallic kind of paint. You got some orange bits and then mixed in there with the red. One thing that is weird is like these side bits here are almost like mouths themselves. I don't necessarily know why they're going to be over here when this is obviously his dinosaur head. So that's something that when I look at it, it says to me that he may have this in the movies and not necessarily have this. If there's a little bit of a cheat going on or something like that, like this, maybe this section right here actually somehow manages to come here. So to me, it looks like it's a little bit of a cheat to make that movie version or on-screen version look more like the toy. But who knows? We'll see. Articulation-wise, the head will rotate left and right. It does look up. It's on a very tight ball joint, and you can see you got down and up, and that's it. I wonder if there's probably a way that you could trim a little bit. Oh yeah, you could totally see it. The this bit right here would probably need to get rounded a little bit to get it to not fling all the way up like that, and that probably would make it look a whole lot better if you could do that to get them to look up straight instead of constantly looking down like that. The shoulders here rotate at this big giant hinge up here. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the tail. He bends at the elbow here. I'm going to call it the elbow. Same with this side. I love all that neck joint for the dinosaur mode comes in handy here. So you get a full range of motion with that. Moves in and out. He does rotate at the waist, but when you have these up, it kind of limits that. Well, does it? Yeah. It does rotate there. It is kind of loose feeling, honestly. I mean, it feels like it's ratcheted, but you can see that it's a little flimsy there in some spots. Obviously, that's part of the transformation and everything, so you can use that if you want, putting those little guys back up there. The hips here are on ball joints. They move all the way around. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They have two joints here at the knee, but really the only one that you're going to want to use is this one, because when you bend the other one, you get crazy weird look to it. It's not bad, but it's kind of crazy weird look. And then I guess you could say that he's got toe articulation, I guess. You could probably say something like that. Really a very cool looking figure, though. I am really digging the way that the guy looks. Now, for some size comparisons, here he is. And here's the new Bumblebee. Now, obviously, people will probably complain because, oh, well, we don't have Bumblebee yet, so how do we know how big that's supposed to be? Well, here's Armada Starscream. And honestly, at the head, Scorn's a little bit taller than Starscream is, so he gets to be a pretty good size here in robot mode. A good deluxe size, I would say. So now to transform him back, we're going to take this, we're going to tuck this away in his arm, just like that. And I love how it's got the serrated edge here on the side. When you put it underneath here, it kind of looks like it matches with the rest of the spines coming out. So get that down. We're going to rotate the hand up. We're going to close the mouth. Like I said, I mean, Beast Wars Megatron all the way. It's so really very cool. Now, just straightening everything out, you're going to bring this arm up. You want to make sure that you get the head bent on an angle here that has the, there we go, the that little lower section here kind of up with the rest of it. Do that. Then this, rotate this around. You may have to, because of the joint here, you may have to fiddle with this to get, because otherwise it might be up like this. You have to wiggle it down to get it to fit all the way. And it's a little bit tight, but once you do, that's what you have. And come around here, gonna loosen this, pull this away from the body. You can bring these around. Well, let's rotate this around. Wait, which way are you gonna go? You're gonna go that way. Something like that. There we go. Then you collapse that whole section down. Bring this, lift this up and tab that in. Do that on this side as well. Tab that down. Straighten all this. Then take these little arms, bring these up, and they're going to lock into place up underneath here. There we go. Get it positioned. There we go. You got a little nub underneath his neck, a part of a little gray piece right there that's going to tab into the front section here. So just line that up and boom, just like that. Then get these arms out of the way just to, again, get them out of the way. Take the feet, you can collapse these sides on the legs. If you want to, you can fold these bits forward. I'm going to do it just as part of the actual transformation. Then this whole section here, this bit right here comes back. You got a little tab right here in his butt that go into this little hole. It's a rubber tab though, so it doesn't have a lot of real stability, but when you bring it up, there is a little section here you're supposed to lock it in there. That it's sort of, you can feel kind of grabs it, but I don't think that over time it's gonna stay too strong of a friction. So rotate this whole section back and up, bend this, or bring this section up like that, and then you bend his legs. Really a simple transformation, but it's fun. I do like it. Why aren't you going down? Come on. There you go. Getting it nice and lined up properly. Make sure that these are in there good. And looking at making sure everything is straight on the guy. Straighten out his arms. And here you have Scorn, and like you can see, he wants to wiggle back. So let's leave these back like so. It doesn't bother me that much. But here you have Scorn back in his really cool looking Spinosaur mode. Now, ever since the Transformers movie started coming out, people have wanted the Dinobots in them. And finally, we have that. And there was a lot of resistance, at least from my understanding, on Michael Bay's part to bring these guys in. Mostly because it's, how do dinosaurs hide in real life? That's always been the biggest thing. Unless they're skeletons, how does this guy hide walking around? He's not a robot in disguise. He's a giant walking robotic dinosaur. So I'm curious to see how it's going to work out in the new Age of Extinction movie. Scorn here looks terrific though. In terms of a dinosaur mode, like I said, I absolutely love it. Yeah, you remove these sails here on the back, maybe do a different head, and like I said, you got a nice repaint or a future Transformer Collector Club / BotCon exclusive. The transformation is pretty simple. A lot of the things you would basically expect are happening. I mean, these become his legs. I mean, you got his torso right here. But the way that they did his arms, especially with the dinosaur head, really is very impressive. All those neck joints in there make for a lot of character and a lot of posability that you can get with them. This was definitely the figure that I was most looking forward to in the first wave of Deluxes, and he did not let me down. Even in his robot mode, it comes across very nicely. I think I will shave that little bit at the back of his neck to give him a little more range of motion in his neck. But beyond that, I don't really think that there's much else wrong with him. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is the paint scheme that he's going to have in the movie, although I think it looks good. I probably will like a more movie-accurate paint scheme, but we'll get that at some point in time, I'm sure, with Takara. And I'll have absolutely no problem whatsoever picking this guy up again. But beyond that, that's about it, guys. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. Also, check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com. And if you like this review, please rate, subscribe, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.